Let's talk NYU.
Yeah, it's got so many songs they get lost in the endless folders of the hard drive. I wish I was more fearless, cause I just say f it and dump all the music for that hated it, that use it as fuel to push them through long nights at school, writing that last minute paper for class that's due in the morning, and I still relate to that procrastination for tasks.
What's good, y'all? My name is Saadiq, and I'm making my first NYU video. I try not to mention NYU too much in my videos just because I didn't want it getting consumed in the content. I didn't want it to be NYU content. I wanted it to be my content, and I just so happened to go to NYU. And it's also, the climate and the time where people are searching for whether they want to go to NYU or not. So they're searching on videos on YouTube on like everything I need to know about NYU, or dorm tours and stuff. So hopefully I can provide a black male experience coming from NYU, just because it's very scarce, especially with black men applying to college and shit like that. Like, it's good to see a face on YouTube, and hopefully I could be that for NYU, I guess, even though they should sponsor me. First, shout out Amanda Mariana. She gave me a lot of the topics that I'm using here and putting my own spin on it. So let's talk NYU. So I'm gonna be real with y'all. NYU is located in the city. So in the city comes a lot of different situations that you're gonna have to be equipped for, and if you're not equipped for, at least aware for, right? So like, you might be walking past people without homes. You might be walking past people hitting pipes, but you also might be walking past just straight flash mobs of dancing and people performing and people singing in the train stops, or people jumping the train stops. Like, you're in a whole new world that has experiences every day, like different experiences every day, good or bad, and that's just what you take when when you're coming to the city. So, but not too much on my school though. For your first year, I think you need to stay at an NYU dorm as well. Take an NYU meal plan to get into the dorms first. For first year dorms, you're going to have a multitude of dorms to pick from. Honestly, everybody says, oh, this one's better, this one's better. They all have their different amenities, and they all have their different positives and cons, right? Personally, I stayed at Weinstein, and they say that's one of the worst dorms for freshmen, and I loved it because it had a dining hall in it, a side market in it, and it also had NYU's Grubhub service in it. And I liked it because I didn't have to walk in the snow, when it's cold out, to get some food. But, some other people like Brittany, you have Lipton, Founders. You have just a multitude of dorms to pick from. So I wouldn't be mad where I end up. If you're outside of first years and you're like a sophomore or something like that, most people tend to live off campus if they can afford it. You live off campus because it's practically the same amount of money that you're paying for a dorm that you could be paying for an apartment by yourself, or an apartment in a room by yourself. So a lot of people tend to get an apartment once they're out of first year dorms. But it's up to you. Personally, I like living in a dorm because I like that there's a security guard downstairs, and I feel a little bit more secure. So everybody takes their different things. It's just how you wanna live, and what's up to you. Every dorm outside of the first year dorms have a kitchen. So I have a kitchen to the left of me. They either come in studios or they come in suites. Suites meaning that you share your bathrooms with other people. Studios means that you and your roommate just share a bathroom. I like the studio because I don't like sharing a bathroom with people. That's just me. But it really tends. You'll figure out during your first years how you're going to be when it comes to a roommate and the roommate situations. I don't know how it is right now. I think they might have changed it, but I know during my first year it was random, so you couldn't really pick your roommates until you got to sophomore and up. So, but I like my roommate. I still have the same roommate as my first year, and it throws you into a new situation that you gotta handle and deal with, and that next person is probably in the same exact situation as you. Most dorms range from $7,000 to $10,000. That's any dorm. They're pretty expensive. That's for the semester, I think. Yeah, I think that's per semester. Don't quote me on that, but yeah. The meal plan is insanely expensive. First years are supposed to have a meal plan. When it comes outside of first years, most people don't get a meal plan after that, or they get the smallest meal plan. That's just because NYU overprices it OD, and most people are starting to cook once you get into your sophomore year. So I think this year I'll be taking off my meal plan entirely. It's my sophomore second semester. First semester I had the second to lowest meal plan, and that's because I stay on campus a lot, so I wasn't really cooking that much. This semester, started hitting my pockets a little bit last semester when I had to pay that, so I might drop it off completely because the lowest meal plan is like $1,500, and that's pretty expensive. Alright, let's get into finances since we just talked about dorm living. When it comes to finances and it comes to NYU gets most of their money when it comes to, gets most of their student money from international students. So those are people coming from East Asia, India, Korea, multiple different places, but that's where they get their money from. That's the bread and butter, right? Now, when it comes to what most people are going to have to be paying if you are U.S. and domestic, right? Like, the way that I see it with my friends, and it might be different to your case, but the way that I see it with my friends is that there's not a lot of middle ground when it comes to financial aid, right? So it's like if you're a high earning family, right, and you don't really qualify for the Pell Grant or you don't qualify for financial aid, right, you're going to be paying out the ass for NYU. They do not give a lot of financial aid. Now, because NYU is a needs-based school when it comes to a lot of it, right? If you are a low earning family, right? NYU tends to give that financial aid, right? And it's a lot, right? When I see it coming from low earning families, I see NYU give a lot of aid to packages, and sometimes it comes in different things, right? Like sometimes they'll waive all your housing. Sometimes you just have to pay housing and they'll waive your full tuition. So it's like it comes in different things, but I don't see a lot of middle ground. Like for the middle class families, I see a lot of them having to pay as if they're a high earning family, right? But always apply though, because you'll never know. So, but that's what I tend to see, and I know that they get a lot of their money from international population. Alright, let's get into the resources, the club life, the academic life, but especially the resources, right? I'm a resources guy. To start off, if you're Black, Indigenous, or Latino, AAP program, the Academic Achievement Program, is a beautiful space for those identities that I just identified. There's great mentorship programs. There's great job working opportunities programs. It's a lot of community, and different things. Like that's where I got that plaque from, and it just hosts so many different events, and I cannot stress it enough. If you are thinking about applying and you are a person of color, this program is the reason why I'm here at NYU. It's the reason why I stayed. It's just too amazing. Outside of that, right, if you're applying to NYU and you're from New York and you're low income, opportunity programs, OP, look into it. The ARC, Academic Resource Center, it hosts the WAC, which is Writing Assistance Center, something like that, but it's basically free tutoring for writing, and they also have the ULC, which is free tutoring for most classes. And in my first year, I was there for calculus every day before finals, the 2 weeks leading up to it, because it was just necessary for me, and NYU has a lot of resources like that. I'm going to start listing off a lot. The Moses Center for Accessibility, that's if you need any accommodations for your test or you need anything when it comes to accessibility, they got it for you. NYU's really good for that. LGBTQ Center, really good for that. The gyms, you have 404, 404 is one of the gyms, then you have Palladium, which is one of the gym. I think they're opening up a third one when it comes to the new dorm and the new building, which is like 181 Mercer, I think. Then you have the Tandon Makerspace, which is for engineering, and they have a bunch of 3D printers in there. They have workshops. I just did a workshop for Photoshop there. They have a bunch of different things, but it's crazy over there, and that's in the Brooklyn campus. You have the E Lab, which is for entrepreneurship. They call it the Leslie Lab, and that hosts basically a bunch of people that are there to support students into their startups or into their entrepreneurship ideas. And there are even programs to help you get funded if you have an idea, and you go through different steps. They also have the production lab down in the E Lab where podcasts are filmed. It's usually a brainstorming space for different theater, plays, and just different creative stuff. You have Wasserman for professionalism, so that's where a lot of people go for headshots, internships, job planning, stuff like that. Work study, Handshake. Handshake is the app that a lot of people get their work study jobs on, or just regular campus jobs that NYU offers. The Student Health Center. The Student Health Center is great. That's if, I don't know when it comes to all the insurance stuff, but I know that they at least do free STD checks, which is great for college students and sexual health. You have CMEP and a bunch of different programs. CMEP is the multicultural education program on NYU. They do a lot of events, and also they sponsor. I'm on the board for BSU, and they sponsor a lot of BSU events, and it's very good for just on-campus stuff, and there's a bunch of programs like it. Okay, let's talk about advisors, right? Advisors, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like the normal advisor, when it comes to advisors across college campuses, it's usually, I think, like 150 to one advisor, 150 students to one advisor. I think NYU has 300 students to one advisor, so a lot of advisors are spread thin. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, like when it comes to planning your schedule, when it comes to doing registration, a lot of it is on your own, right? So like it's a lot. Of course, you can meet with your advisor and they'll help you throughout the stuff, but it's more of like you gotta plan and be ready for that meeting when you have with your advisor, because they're spread thin, and you know they might be doing other programs like hosting AAP events and stuff like that, and it really falls a lot on you, and you gotta advocate for yourself. But that's just adulting at the same time, right? When it comes to study abroad, NYU is one of the greatest schools for studying abroad. They have multiple on-campus sites as well as just other sites, right? So they got Shanghai and LA campus, I believe. I think they got an Australian campus, like Sydney or something like that. They got London, Madrid, Accra, and Ghana. Just numerous amounts of places, Argentina. And then they also have exchange programs within the AAP Academic Achievement Program for HBCUs for Black, Latino, and Indigenous culture. Wait. I hope y'all enjoying the content. I'm giving y'all the goods. If y'all could like and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that. My other content is fire. We're getting back into it. Hold on. Now, the biggest resource that you have at NYU is the NYU name. When people, professional people, jobs, internships, anyone, when they see the NYU name, their eyes pop out their sockets, bro. They go crazy for it. And it's helped me in so many different avenues, just because, like, for example, I'm not in the business school, but I wanted a business internship. So I got offered a business internship and put in a bracket for business internship, all for the NYU name alone, and got a call back from a huge big bank that basically locked me in if I wanted to basically go throughout the business field. So it provides so many different resources in the NYU name alone. Like I know people that's in NYU Steinhardt for music business, and they got internships with RCA Records, and they're not even in that program yet. You know, like there's so many different things, and it's just the NYU name that allows you to go through a lot of doors that, I'm not gonna lie, not a lot of other colleges or places allow that. You know, so it's a huge resource, but don't also get your head gassed, you know. Let's talk academics, right? When it comes to academics and campus life, when it comes to your classes, I'm not gonna lie, I've never had a bad professor. I've never had a professor that hated me. I've had pretty good professors. I've had really good professors. And my advisor once told me, if you end a college year without having a professor that could give you a recommendation, then you didn't do it right, right? Personally, I've never had that problem because I could get a lot of recommendations because you want to build relationship with your professor. That's number one. College 101. Doesn't matter which college you go to, but that's number one. I never had a bad experience when it comes to NYU professors. There's some people that I know that've had bad experiences. Use rate my professor, you'll be fine. I've had professors that I have never rated my professor for, and they've been adjuncts, and it's all been cool, to be honest. So it's not that bad. When it comes to classes, class work, class load, it obviously depends on the school that you're going to. Each school is different. I know when it comes to Stern, they have this thing called the Stern curve, where it's like only 5 people in the class can get 90. I mean, only 5 people in the class can get above a 98, or 5 people in the class can only get an A, right? And that's where the Stern curve comes in. But it all depends on the school, right? You go into Steinhardt, it's a little bit easier. You go into LS, it's a little bit easier. GLS, it's a little bit easier. It all depends, right? Like, each school is different, and each school has their own curriculum and their own way of grading things. So it just depends. But I think that's in any college or any university. So just be aware and just know how to do school, you know? All right, when it comes to the classes and level of diversity, once again, NYU has a huge international population. So you're going to see a lot of Asian students and a lot of white students. In my class specifically, I only see a lot of Asian and white people, and then you sprinkle a couple of black people, sprinkle a couple of other colors and stuff like that. But the level of diversity is very weird, right? Because it has a huge international population, and most of them are like East Asian, right? But then you see like a lot of people from like South Africa. You see a lot of people from Nigeria. You see a lot of people from different areas. NYU has a huge, dense population of like diversity. It's very weird, right? Now, what is it? Predominantly, you're gonna see Asian and white people, right? But like, let's say like you go to like the programs that I'm occupied or the spaces I'm in, I am normally around black and brown students in my entire day. When I go to hang out in AAP spaces, so that's all I get to see, and those cultures are dense, right? Because NYU has such a huge population of students that it's like, all right, even though maybe the black percentage is very low, right? But that's still a lot of students. And since it's still a lot of students and they occupy in a lot of the same spaces, right? If you go to ASU, right? ASU is one of the biggest clubs on campus. Very dense. Very dense. And you're going to see them from all different populations. Now, there is a huge Nigerian presence, right? But you're also going to see Senegalese people. You're going to see Cameroonian people. You're going to see Ghanaian people, right? It's like, it's weird, but it's cool, right? Because I get to come in contact with people from Madrid. I get to come in contact with people from South Africa, Ghanaian, you know, and it's on a daily basis. It's on a daily basis, meeting new people from different spots, and a lot of boarding school kids. A lot of boarding school kids get sent to boarding school, and they get sent here. I don't know. It's weird, different experiences, but that's like the campus life and how a lot of people come to NYU. It's interesting. All right, when it comes to club life, right? I love the clubs that I occupy. I'm on the board for BSU, which is the Black Student Union on campus. I'm on the board for GQ, Gentlemen of Quality for Men of Color on campus. That's a part of AAP. And there's a bunch of clubs like it, right? So, for example, you have West, Women of Excellent Strength and Tenacity. My people run that. That's the sister club to GQ for men identifying students. And those are amazing clubs, right? To name off, you have the Caribbean Student Association, which I be with. You have different things. OBW, Organization for Black Women. And these are just the clubs off the top of my head, but those are like more identity-based clubs. Then you also have like clubs that's derived for your majors and stuff like that. So for example, when I was dead focused on business, I joined the C Club in Stern, and I was in LS, so it didn't matter what school I was in, I was still in that club. And that's how I got my internship, with meeting a person there, and that's the C Club. It's like the Stern Diversity Club, which is the Business Diversity Club. And there's a bunch of clubs for those different things. Or you might just have the cheese club or a theater club. It's all different things, but the clubs are amazing. I find that like clubs and academics go hand in hand because you find your community there. And when you find community, then you also find people that might be doing the same things or at least taking the same classes. You find people taking the same classes, then it's easier to continue that ball rolling. You know, you studying with more people, you make more friends. If you love your school more, then you love, you know, work more, and you love college more. So it all works in tandem when it comes to me. That's why I pair academics and club life together, right? Because on top of that, you want to build your network and you want to build the people that you're meeting and maybe, you know, like grow with one day. Finding friends can be very hard for people, especially if you're introverted. I understand what that means, you know, and I understand how that be feeling, right? But if you're new to NYU and let's say you're coming into spring semester or next fall, right, you want to go to the NYU events, the Welcome Week events, right? So NYU always does this huge welcoming to new students and stuff like that. You want to go to every single event. They have like drag bingo, all these different types of things, and it's because everybody is trying to make new friends. They also have group chats beforehand where you can find it on Facebook, on Instagram, but regardless, you want to find your friends quickly and you want to meet as many people as you can, right? I know I was introducing myself to everybody and my social battery might have been out, but regardless, like, it paid off in the end because you want to know a lot of people. And, you know, you might need that one friend that might call you to bring you and say, hey, you should come to this club with me. You know, and that's how I met a lot of my different friends. And you want friends in different pockets and stuff like that. You know, like, a lot of people fall into it, and it's easy to fall into a spot where, you know, you just go to class, you go eat, and you go right back to your dorm. Never do that. Spend as much time as you can in a study space, maybe in like Kimmel, or maybe in different spots like the library, Bobst. You know, like, you want to go to different places because you want to meet as many people as you can. And I'm not gonna lie, it can get cliquey after a certain point, right? So that's why you gotta take advantage of when the people want to make friends. Everybody wants to make friends. You know, meet some people. Even if you don't find that group, it's okay. You know, at least you know a couple of people that you could say, hey, come to this club with me. You know, and it's that simple. Right. Now since we into more of campus life, right? NYU's not a big party school. There's not a lot of parties. You know, most students come here, they go to clubs instantly. When I say clubs, I'm not talking about on-campus clubs, I'm talking about actual clubs, right? Now, personally, I don't own one, and I would never recommend it, right? But some people like to prepare before they come to NYU because they know the situation that they're going to be entering, right? For example, my first year, I did not have a fake ID, still don't have one, right? But a lot of people get fakes in order to go to like clubs or go to different events, and I'm not going to lie to you, in the city, right, it is ruthless, okay? Ruthless, right? So even if you want to go to even if you're not trying to drink or go to clubs or anything, but if you want to go to K-Town and do karaoke with your friends, right, you're still going to need an ID because you need to be 21 because they serve alcohol. And that's the case when it comes to a lot of city places. They like to prepare in advance before they come to college. A lot of people do orders beforehand. A lot of people do orders when they get here, but be careful because a lot of people get left out in their first semester because they're not prepared. Not my recommendation, I'm just telling y'all how it is. Alright, it's gonna be my last little spiel. Personally, I love my school. Some people don't like the school. And when I see that a lot of people don't like the school, or as if like they're talking bad about it, but a lot of them never experienced the whole entire school. You know, some of them never been to the Brooklyn campus. Some of them never been to events, club events, where like actual communities at. They're only in their tight spaces or they're only in their tight cliques, and they just go to the clubs every Friday and Saturday and Sunday, you know, and they don't be going out. They don't be trying to be involved with their school, you know, and I think that's universal to all college campuses. But if you're hearing this, bro, I'm just telling you, I hope that you get involved with your college campus and at least like try, you know, because as I said, it's easy to fall into that rut. And you know, I just wish that people gave more grace to like a new environment. You know, like they're experiencing something entirely different and entirely new, and you gotta skate every part of it. Right? When I came here my first year, like the reason why I know about the E-Lab and the reason why I know about a lot of these programs is because I was just going into every single building on this campus, right? Like literally I just go into the building, ask around, hey, what do you do? What do you work here? That's why nobody knows about the E-Lab, for real, right? I went down there because I'm like, the E-Lab, entrepreneurship. I saw like new computers. I said, I went downstairs. I'm like, what do you do? And they're like, oh, we're here to basically support students about entrepreneurship. I'm like, nobody knows about this. Nobody knows about this. I'm over here telling my friends, and now it's like, that's where I want to host. That's why I really want to record sometimes, is in the production lab, that's in the E-Lab. But I would have never known about it if I didn't go down there just because I was curious. You know, be curious about your school, be curious about everything. Also, like, big disclaimer, I know a lot of people that see NYU as a huge dream school, you know, and I would like to say open the horizon. You know, I know a lot of people that might have transferred out of NYU because of the financial rut that they got because of it, and I know a lot of people that's at NYU that took on that huge financial burden because, you know, it's their dream school. And I like to say, you know, a lot of different places could be your dream spots. Just be careful. Yo? Okay, 2 minutes. Sorry. A lot of different places can be, you know, your dream spot. Just be careful, be safe, and, you know, make the best financial decision and the best, you know, decision for yourself. But other than that, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, the little guide or something. I might be making a black guide. We'll see. I love y'all. It's been Saadiq. We out.